Good morning, welcome to Monday on the Coffee Run with me. So, I hope you guys all had an amazing weekend. Before we kick in, I had a very, very fabulous weekend. My husband and I had our joint 40th 80s party on Saturday night, and it was a lot of fun. It's just so funny and so much fun, I reckon, seeing everybody dressed up. It's a massive icebreaker right at the start when you see people roll up and you're like, oh my God, you look terrible. This is so amazing, right? Because, 80s. Hey, Kelly, good morning. Hey, Catherine, happy Monday. So, a couple of things that I wanted to share with you today. Just a couple of probably really not so secret hacks. Hey, Myrna. Probably or possibly more of a reminder this morning that, wow, that's really like rocket science, Nicola type thing, right? So one of the things that I wanted to, one of the things that came up in my journaling this morning. So this is probably the biggest thing. I find it easier to kind of talk through for me how it's kind of come about so that, you can see how this might apply. So this morning I wrote my journal, I'm like, wow, I don't really have very much to say in here today. So I was writing about the weekend. I was writing about just random kind of stuff that popped into my head. And it wasn't sort of, some days it's really deep and kind of meaningful. And, there's all of this stuff pans out. And today, not so much. So that's okay. So one of the things that I learned maybe 4 years ago was around the power. It was actually listening to Abraham Hicks about the power of I am, and everything that comes after that I am is what you then create your reality around. So if you're waking up and your first thing is, I am so tired, I am hungover, which I wasn't actually. I'll talk to you about that a bit later. I am energized, I am glowing, I am shiny, I am ready, I'm excited. Then you're much more likely to find the evidence in your world to support that. If you're like, oh, I'm tired, I hate Mondays, I'm bored, I have nothing to say, I am blah, blah, you will look for evidence and you will actually create your own reality. So the way that Abraham Hicks talks about it is it's about getting into the vortex. So this thing that came up this morning for me, and it's been a bit of a, in hindsight's 2020 vision, right? In hindsight. And I look at the little, the signs along the way, the little clues along the way, and it's just kind of like, oh yeah, okay, that's really obvious, Nick. So the things that came out today, I was doing my I am statements, and they're all kind of like surfacey level type stuff. And then I started getting really kind of into it. And as you do, like it's what happens without a time limit on it, which is actually why I'm late this morning, or not late this morning. I didn't tell you I'd be on at any time, but in my head, I'm talking to you guys at 9. So the I am statements, that it can change, and it will change if you allow it, the way that you feel, right? So I could start to feel, it's almost like that real base chakra activation where you can kind of feel it going up your spine, and like that up your spine. And I had this moment where I'm writing some stuff down and I'm just like, oh yeah, wow. It's just like I can kind of feel it. Hey, Shirley. And one of the things that I'd written in there was like, I'm feeling joyful. And I was thinking this morning as I'm journaling about Saturday night. So Saturday night we had our party, and I was possibly, and have been possibly for the last week, the happiest, like literally the happiest, the most joyful that I've been in. I worked out maybe like 4 years. Maybe 3 years. I don't know. It's like everything that I'm journaling has just, it's A, coming true, right? And B, it's changing a feeling within me, which I know is then changing the way that things get put out there and things like that. So this is the sneaky little hacks, right? The sneaky little hack, or one of them, the secret hack, is to write down what it is that you want, how you want to feel, as if you are already feeling it. So I mentioned the other day about one of the things that I've been journaling is that I am shiny, I am glowing, I am sparkly, right? So this kind of feeling of being really joyful. Hey, Leanne. Feeling really joyful and just so full of life and vitality and feeling really great in my skin. I'm like I started writing more of these I am statements, and I was tapping back into that feeling from Saturday night. I was tapping, and I only had like 2.5, maybe 3 drinks all Saturday night. So it wasn't alcohol that created this or anything like that, like that was creating those feelings. It was just, you know, the sheer joy of laughing, having fun, dancing, hanging out with friends and family and clients who have become friends, and just having a really, really great time. And in the I am statements today, I'm saying things like, one of the thoughts was, well, what do I want other people to tell me? You know, what would I really love other people to say? You know, like, you are so blah, blah, whatever, right? And this is what I want you to be thinking about. It's like, what is it that you would want other people to say? And I want you to write that for yourself. So in my diary, for example, in my journal is like, I am engaging, I am radiant, I am glowing, I am joyful. My husband was laughing at me, actually, really funny. We were walking in a morning walk, one of them last week, and we walked past someone, and I just, oh, good morning. And Tom goes, and the reaction of this person was just like, good morning. And my husband, Tom, he goes, Nicole is determined to spread our happiness all over the world, all over everybody, whether they want it or not. And I'm like, damn straight I am, you know, just like I'm going to vomit my happiness on everyone. But one of the things that came up as I was writing these things down about what I would love for other people to say is that it's really, okay, so it can feel sometimes a little egotistical, right? It can feel sometimes a little egotistical because I'm writing in there, I am awesome, I am engaging, I am hot, you know, I am fucking brilliant, my ideas are awesome. I was talking to a previous client last week, and I said, you've got to buy my book, it's fucking amazing. You know, my content planner that I've put together is freaking amazing. This Rebel Without a Cause program that I've put together, it's fucking brilliant. And in the past, you know, like I've totally owned the stuff that I've created and I'm really proud of it, but this was a different kind of feeling. This is just like, you know what, it is, and I am, and, you know, there you go. I was also, and I think what's sort of been simmering away, I had a post pop through my Instagram feed. Don't know why it came up, but there was it might have been a Boss Lady Mindset, you know, that type of page. I don't know which one it was actually. But it was something in there, and the post went along the lines of, I'm never worried about my partner cheating on me because he won't get better than this. Something like that, right? So I guess where I'm going with that, it's like, well, you know what? If you really believe that you are the best, that you are amazing, that your content is fucking brilliant, that you can show up and people will turn up, that you are famous, that you are a best-selling author, that you are magnetic, that you are radiant, that you are, you know, whatever. If you're writing that stuff down, it might be the stuff that you want other people to tell you. And if you can really, you know, hammer that home and remind yourself, like, and then the next step is to go and say that shit in front of the mirror and actually believe it, then it makes it, in my opinion, I think it makes it a lot easier for you to be able to get your message out there. It makes it easier for you to be able to turn up. It makes it easier for you to be able to show up on camera. Because, like, you know what, I am the freaking best, and I am in being you, right? And we've already discussed multiple times. If you haven't heard me say this, then that's okay. You can be forgiven because you'll hear it now. You're not going to please everybody. And that's fine. You know, not everyone liked A Star Is Born. Not everyone liked Queen. Not everyone likes Trump. Not everyone likes, I'm trying to think of some controversial things. I can't think of anything. You know what I mean? Not everybody likes everybody, right? So I guess the point here is that if you can condition yourself to really believe all of that stuff and then feel it and create that visceral kind of really, you know, really feel it in your body, then it makes it a lot easier for you to be able to actually get up and showcase you. And I think one of the reasons that we don't do this is this. We've been taught throughout our schooling life that we need to audition for the role, that we need to play a part, that we need to get this to be able to do that, you know, particularly at the moment in schools, you know, there is no one wins, no one loses, everybody just gets a turn. And I think we're really conditioned to not be proud of ourselves is not the right word, and I don't believe it's about being egotistical. I actually believe it's just about fucking stepping into your potential, into your purpose, and freaking owning that and going, you know what, this is who I am, this is what I have to share, and this is what the message is, and I am fucking amazing at doing this. And guys, you know what, you're going to listen to me because it's freaking amazing. You know, if you can step into that state rather than going, oh, well, you've got to fit in with these 9 dots, and you've got to fit in with this framework, and you've got to fit in with this blah, blah, blah. You know, we're not taught to celebrate and ramp ourselves up. We're taught to make it fair and let everybody have a go. And, you know, I don't necessarily think that's a bad idea either, but I think that it's kind of the pendulum swung a bit much the other way. And instead, we can be a lot more, we can just own it. You know, we're adults now, right? And if you don't put yourself out there, and if you don't tell yourself that you're amazing and everything else, and if you don't really believe it, then chances are other people aren't going to see that, and they're not going to be able to say that to you either, because you're just not even open to it. You're just not even in that place of even being able to receive that kind of interaction. So Kelly, vomit your happiness on everyone. I love it. Mark laughs at me because I smile at, and then I can't see the rest of that, because I smile at strangers and not everybody wants to be smiled at. Yeah, you're exactly right. And they're the people that I make an even bigger effort to do it to. It's really funny. So there's maybe 2 people on our walk. So we'll walk for 45 minutes in the morning usually. And even at 6 a.m. when we're walking now, there's even more people actually. It's really funny. So I make it my mission. I'm like, okay, look, Grumpy Man's coming up, or there's one particular guy that kind of shuffles with his head down and he doesn't look at anyone, and we just go past. And I'm like, good morning. Happy Monday, or what, you know, whatever it happens to be. And I personally make a really big effort. Dom actually comes along, and you know, sometimes he's the first to say good morning, or I might be. And anyway, it's a whole bunch of fun. But I really think the other part about all of this, and the other little secret that's not really a secret, is that it's all a choice, right? Your happiness, your